Mm-hmm.
Again, MDL Changsha should be in the books by now. So looking forward, it's going to be ESL One Birmingham this week. Now the big news is that Navi, Natos Vincere, pulled out of ESL One Birmingham because of roster changes, and they want to take this event as their sort of incubation time for the new player Velior coming in to replace LeBron and moving Lil to the position 5. Velior, their new player, into that position 4 slot. But because of that, we still don't know who is going to be the next team for ESL One Birmingham. So the question is, who should replace Navi for ESL One Birmingham? And actually, I'm going to very very quickly check
Okay.
because the announcement was that they were going to announce that tonight
On Monday,
on
yes.
Monday,
Yeah.
right? So it's UK time. Let's
It's
very
probably early
quickly check.
morning
Yeah,
in the UK right now.
it's probably very early morning,
Yeah.
but let's see. We're going to check that. But so who should be the replacement? Now this is a really strange topic to me because this is not a tournament with the best format already.
Uh, I mean, the tournament with the worst form.
It's the tournament with the worst
Because
format.
if you're saying it doesn't have
It's
the best
also
format,
it's
that's a bit gracious, man.
that's gracious. That's gracious of me. But it's not the tournament. It's the worst format I've ever seen. But it's also one of the most important tournaments of the entire year because it's second to the last.
It depends. I
Well, the
think
points really matter.
no, not for everyone.
Well, not for well,
I think for
they-
two
they're
teams
still
now.
they're still going to reduce the amount of point threshold if they win points.
No, I think it's more or less the same right now.
It's more. I guess it's more or
I,
less
I
the
don't.
same.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think it's gonna change.
It's not that big of a change by now, right? But that being said, however, whoever is invited would still want to be there. Whoever is invited would still want to be there. A win from here from a team that has nothing puts them over the top of VG Gaming J Storm, right? Or at least the eighth place.
at least two
The
more
top-
teams.
Yeah,
At
because
least two more
the
teams.
last two teams have just under 2,250.
Yeah.
And a win puts you immediately at 2,250.
Yeah, that's above Thunder and Newbie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's above Thunder and Newbie. You're did I say VG Gaming Storm kanina?
And
I meant Thunder. I
okay.
meant Thunder. Because Thunder has 1-9
Mhm.
and Newbie has about 2,000.
100 -ish,
Yeah,
yeah.
2,000
Something
2,000
like
and
that.
change. So it's really important who you bring into this tournament, right? Are they going to bring in a team, for example, a team that already qualified for more because they probably have the documents, the visas. In fact, we're going to show you the tweet from ESL Senior VP, you know, showing the announcement. So this comes to us from the Flying DJ Ulrich Schulze. Regarding the replacement for Navi in Birmingham, we are waiting for a final verdict on visas for the team, and one other team is backup if it does not work out. The replacement will be announced Monday. All right, so there is no news yet. We don't know yet who's
Mhm.
still going to go there. So there's a bunch of people running up. There's a bunch of crowd favorites that people want in.
Yeah.
But for my money, I think it should be Fly to Moon. I think Fly to Moon is a very well. Number one, it's important because they do have a chance to change their fortune, right? And usually
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, but with the way that things have broken up since Fly to Moon's debut in Epicenter, I want to give them a shot. This is a CIS team that is playing that played some amazing Dota, and I want to see if they have what it takes going forward. I want to see if Fly to Moon is the real deal because we saw them. We were very excited watching them play. It's always wanna fly. It's non grata. It's a bunch of known CIS players and some new talent. And ESL One Birmingham, I think, is the perfect blend of catch up mechanic because that's sort of what the DPC was supposed to be towards the end of the season, right? The last few events were supposed to give out more points so that teams who are that only formed later in the year can still have a reasonable shot at catching up on points to
That
get to TI.
that and the proximate strength more relative to the date of TI as well.
Exactly, right? So it's to measure if you're still as good as you are in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So FTM, I think, is a good invite. It's a good replacement. But I don't know. But with that being said, the format is so bad still that I can't get over how bad this format is for anyone involved.
Yeah, especially for the replacement. You know why?
Why?
Because whoever replaces Navi in this event is gonna face VP in their first match in a best of one. And if you lose against VP in a best of one, you're gonna play in a best of three, which if you lose again, you'll be eliminated.
Right. So very quickly,
It's so bad.
it's very quickly,
you know,
right?
considering the replacement will have to get visa issues. Actually, Navi withdrew from this event because
Because of visa.
because of visa. They think
Right.
it's gonna be a problem.
Right.
So instead, they're gonna boot camp for
Right. So actually, the
Super
Navi statement was that they think they're going to run into visa issues. So instead of gambling that, they would
they
just,
rather
they would rather just focus.
boot camp for super major.
So very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
I will just read off the group stage format. Okay. So for ESL ONE Birmingham, all games in the group stage will be played in the backstage. So that's already whatever. 3 GSL groups of 4 teams each. So that's 3 groups. That's A, B, and C. When did we ever see this?
Oh my god. 3 groups.
Anyway, I'm not even done. So the bottom 2 teams from each group are eliminated. The runner-ups advance to the quarterfinals. So after the group stage, 6 teams
Mm-hmm.
will be eliminated. There are only 12 teams for this major. This feels like a circus of a minor.
Second to the last major
This
as well.
feels like a minor circus to me, right?
Mhm.
Now the runner-ups, they advance to the quarterfinals, but the 3 first place teams have to play an additional best of 1 match
Okay.
against each other, and which 2 teams to determine which 2 teams advance to the semifinals and which team joins the 3 runner-up in the quarterfinals. So even when you finish in the top of Group A, Group B, or Group C, you still have a 1 in 3 chance of that not mattering kasi quarterfinals ka pa rin.
This would have been great if the bracket is triangle.
Yeah, how?
But it's not.
Geometrically, how?
It's not though. And you know,
But who would you pick? Who would you pick first
for the replacement?
for the replacement?
Well, kasi important to take note is Navi is the winner of the CIS qualifier.
Yes,
The runner-up is Empire.
right.
And
So it should be Empire.
I think based on that, it should be Empire.
Right.
Fly to Moon is third, fourth though. They shared
Right.
third, fourth with Team Spirit, I think. So in that merit, I think if it should be Empire for me,
Right.
because you know again, I of course agree that
Right.
I agree that FTM going in would be nice. Even a second place finish for them is enough para makakyat sila hanggang sa rank 8. So again, this is the brackets as we saw in the CS qualifier of the ESL Birmingham. Fly to Moon was there, but this happened before Epicenter. This
Yes.
happened before the patch ng Epicenter where Fly to Moon really excelled, where they really got a lot of new fans. But here we can see that they finish again, joint third, fourth with Team Spirit.
But what you're saying is whoever it passes down to, they're all going to get destroyed by this god-awful format.
Or if FTM, maybe, let's say, can beat VP again.
That's true. Which they beat. Yeah.
They did, but Navi also defeated VP in that event.
That's
Let's
true.
Go back to that. Pero, now, going back to the format, this is another challenge for the teams, which I was saying. You're going to go through visa issues, 1. The next, you're going to face VP in a best of 1. Then you're going to be in an elimination match. That's how bad this is.
So yes, this is the format that we were talking about. So again, there are 12 teams, 6 are invited, 1 team from each of the regions. And there you are, group stage. 3 GSL groups of 4. Bottom 2 are eliminated. Runner-ups advance to quarters. Then
Oh.
3 first place teams play additional best of ones.
Because the GSL BO1, BO3 format nila, that happened in previous ESL installments.
Right.
It's bad. It's really bad. But it's okay. But then
Pabayaan mo na lang.
they have to make it worse.
This
They
is-
have to make it worse. Why did it's I think they're bathing in praises kasi so they want something naman, you know, negative on their side.
Ewan ko lang. Ewan ko kung anong sumapi sa kanila dito. Because again, if the question is just who should replace them, I think it's very close. Empire would probably be the most justifiable,
Logical
the most
replacement as well.
logical replacement, right? Pero ako, for me, again, siguro for me, it's a toss-up between Empire and FTM. Right? Empire and FTM siguro yung toss-up ko. Siguro, pasok mo na yung spirit dun. My preference would be at FTM because I want to see a team that can actually compete. And I've been selling on Empire for months now.
Yeah, for DPC's case though, Empire changed roster, so
they can't even win it,
so
right?
they can't even get any DPC
Exactly.
point.
So that's where I'm coming from with FTM.
Both Spirit and FTM have their roster locked though,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think that's something arguable for
Right.
both
So
of them.
yun, yeah. So that's why I'm at FTM at least. Siguro Empire because of yun lang yung
I think
performance nila sa
FTM kasi
qualifier,
is-
right?
FTM count as who do we want to replace?
That's true.
Navi,
That's
but
true.
Not who should
De,
replace.
pero
Navi.
kasi para sa akin, it should be FTM because they can do something with the points. That's kind of what I want to drive at because again, this is a major. This is the second to the last major. This is a very important major. Again, if whoever
you could have invite TNC in the end.
you
know.
could invite TNC, that is also
they,
true.
They need the points as well.
Yeah,
but
that's
we
probably
don't
true.
base it on that.
Pero I would choose from CIS na lang rin dapat because again, that's out of respect for the region. They did lose Navi from the region, right? They lost because Navi won a qualifier. So because they won that qualifier and they're not, joining, the CIS region will be underrepresented. So that's why I want to still pick from CIS. And my choice is FTM because FTM probably Spirit, but between those two choices, those are the two choices that can do something with the points.
Yeah, plus to be fair, actually, I do think FTM is their replacement. I don't think that they should be the replacement, but I think they have a very high chance of being the
Right.
replacement. Not only are they, as you've said, they can do something with the points, but they're also replacing a very big fan favorite.
That's also true.
So
And that's more of a business that's a business
So I think
consideration.
FTM is something that the next best case to make the people happy, not including inviting other top 8 teams.
That's true. But again, if it's Empire, if it's FTM, or if it's Spirit, their biggest problem at ESL is not the teams that they're going to fight. It's
Mhm.
the fact that they're going to enter a really important tournament, a last-minute entry, and essentially play one day. That might be what it comes down to.
Oh, 2 days.
Well,
more or
2
less.
days,
Yeah,
sure.
two
Pero 2
non-televised
days, 2 days in the backstage.
Yes.
2 days in the backstage, never even get the chance to play in the main stage because of how bad this format is.
Mhm.
I don't know why we would ever have a format that's three groups
groups.
of 4 for a 12-person tournament. I don't understand it.
I think that because again, ESL is notorious for doing this season. They did this format a lot. I think they did this in the first one,
They did it again.
Hamburg,
Yeah.
and then at Genting, then at the last one was Bucharest.
Yes. Oh no, Bucharest
sorry.
is PGL.
It's PGL.
Yeah.
They did something else. They did 4.
I'm forgetting right now the other place name.
Katowice.
Katowice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katowice.
There you go. So, it's bad as it is, but they have to make it 3 groups. They have to make it worse.
They have to make it worse somehow. They could have done 2 GSL groups, right? They could have absolutely done 2 GSL groups and then cut to something sane like 8.
2 adjust is challenging because 6
Right.
teams.
That's true though.
So yung format, let's say, of the previous event, a 6-team round robin.
Yeah, 6-team round
something
robin.
like that.
Siguro ang problem lang dun is with your classic problem with the round robins, right? Because you're going to have games of no consequence
Well,
sometimes.
plus they want to keep it consistent na walang major na parehong format.
That's true.
That's the reason.
I mean, ang pangit ng reasoning eh. Pinapangit nila yung format ng ESL ONE Birmingham for all of the teams involved, for the team that's going to be invited in Navi's place, just because they don't want to have the same format for every event. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know why they make it like that. So
I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Na you're going to punish the teams and the viewers, the audiences, just because ayaw mo magkaroon ng parehong. Sobrang illogical niya. And just to give you guys an idea, I went to ESL ONE. Well, we were both in Genting. We saw each other at Genting. I watched Genting as a spectator. You were at Genting working.
Yeah.
And from where I was sitting, people were not as happy as they could be. Right? Because at Genting, kung nandun ka sa arena, there was the Arena of Stars at Genting Highlands, you could not see half the teams that you went there to see because they would either have been eliminated already or they played 1 day in the Arena of Stars and then they were gone.
Well, you couldn't see them play technically.
Yeah, well,
I,
you couldn't see them
I
play
think
at
some
all
were happy
because backstage,
they had
right?
more autograph signing sessions because of that.
That's true.
That's the other hand of the spectrum.
That's true, pero when
I
the
think
people,
yeah, people prefer
the
them.
people would prefer
watch
them to play because that's why
Exactly.
we're here. We love watching high level Dota.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
yeah,
ESL One for some reason has made it their, I don't know, their mission to just not please their audience this year or at
Mhm.
least this season. I don't know what's going on with them. So
and people were forgiving Hamburg because
it was
they
the
were
first one.
saying
Yeah,
it was a short notice.
yeah.
Already booked the stadium. They were already, I think 8-team event lang on for a major. So
Sure, okay
yeah,
lang.
okay, that's the first one.
Yeah, and they did the classic ESL One na format, right?
And,
No, ano?
yeah. And now on only upgrade is nagkaroon ng third place decider match. The only event there was a third place decider match.
And I mean, not every pro even likes to
And
have a third
it's
place
not even
decider.
a pro. It's not even a,
Oh, yeah, I
a
know,
good
it's not.
thing, you know.
It's not even a good thing. Like most professional players would rather not have that.
It was just added because there's only 2 stage games per day. Basically, if you buy a ticket to watch the event, you can only watch 6 series.
Yun nga eh, that's the other thing. So
Otherwise, you would only watch
so
5.
at Genting, siguro the biggest positive at Genting was that people, pag pumunta kayo at the LAN, at the ESL LAN in Malaysia, you can go home early. Hindi mo kailangang gabihin sa daan, hindi kayo mata-traffic. People went home at a reasonable time. That was the one pro.
And newbie 1, that's another pro.
I mean, newbie
Newbie
one with the Disruptor Naga, which
That
have they
feels
been
so
doing.
old, man. Newbie 1.
Newbie one.
Oh wow.
I
Well,
don't
they
know.
did win a
Did they make TI finals the other time? I don't know. They've been playing so bad. Pero that was the one pro of that format. Pero ever since Genting and seeing the prices for ESL One Birmingham,
Mhm.
this format is actually much less value than the Genting one. Because again, tama ka. Kung bumili ka ng ticket, you're not even seeing that many games. Just compare it to Manila Masters. Well, you worked at Manila Masters,
Yeah.
di ba? Magkano yung ticket? Mga 3.5? 3.5 for the ticket, siguro?
For the premium, I think.
That's for the premium, 3.5. Yung the general, no, the entry level tickets.
entry level is cheap, less than
It's cheap, right?
1,000-ish, yeah.
General
1K,
admission is like
1K-ish,
yeah, 1K siguro, right?
Yeah.
But how many matches were you able to see? Minimum 3 a day,
Mhm.
'di ba? Minimum 3 a day, ang binayar mo 1,000 pesos nung araw na 'yon. Of course, you have to pay it per day, 'di ba? This one, you
It's
paid
not even the Manila Major where we paid what?
Manila Major was
200 bucks
50,
for ringside.
yeah, 'di ba?
50 pesos for
Per day.
per day.
'Di ba? 50 kada araw yung binayaran for Manila Major, and
Mhm.
you were seeing 3 to 4 series of best of 3s per
Yeah.
day. That was Manila Major. For ESL One Birmingham, you would pay way more because it's in British pounds,
Mhm.
and you would see a total of 6 series. How
Yeah.
is that justifiable?
6 series and 6 teams. No, yeah, 6 teams.
Anyway, so let's wrap it up. Are you still on Empire? Do you think Empire should be
I
the
think
one?
for should I want FTM,
Right.
but for sure that should be Empire. But for good news for ESL people, if you want to follow the event, you can always go to Facebook Live. that's yeah.
I wish we had a CS:GO audience because then we could also talk about that.
Oh, yeah. There's-
I don't know. I think for me, it has to be FTM just because they're the only ones who can do something with the points. Well, Spirit as well, and siguro it should be a toss up. Maybe one of those two, because as much as Empire made the finals of that, it's the last 2 events of the season. It should count for more.
Mhm.
So, and I also think with FTM, it's going to be a smart decision on the side of the organizers that also benefits the fans.
Yeah,
Just
I
because
think
of
it's a win-win
FTM's
for both
impact.
sides.
It's a win-win for both sides.
Kaya lang, won't other teams,
That's right.
disagree with the option of being
I mean,
FTM?
they can always disagree, right?
Considering in the same group of
Right.
that replacement is EG and Fnatic. Two
That's
teams
true.
trying to catch up.
That's true. That is true. I believe their bracket is
They're
VPG,
Fnatic.
VPG, Fnatic, and then question mark.
Yeah,
and the other
so-
one has Liquid. Actually, it should be over here. But anyway,
I think that's another issue that we have to consider
Right.
because
That is another issue that we need to
uh,
consider.
it might not be the good decision, but I'm sure that managers might oppose to that, especially considering how vocal the managers of those two teams.
I think that is true, but I also think that at this point, everyone's just going to be vocal in looking out for their interests. So I think that's sort of something that you need to sort of just accept,
Assertive.
right?
Yeah,
You should just accept at that point, right?
okay.
At the end of the day, CIS lost our representative, so it should be from CIS. And if it's supposed to be from CIS, again, Empire would be the logical choice. But for me, I want it to be more competitive. I want it to be someone the teams will look at and say, we need to be careful because they can actually do something with these points. You know, I want that for competitive balance. You know, because if it's someone that won't be able to do anything with the points, right, doesn't really matter. But I think the bigger issue here is, what do you think about the format?
I don't know. It'll be hard to make a format no worse if I tried to.
It is, I think, extremely hard to fuck up a format worse than this. Anyway, we will go on a short commercial break. And when
You could probably divide the 12 teams into two groups
Two
of
groups,
five and then isa yung dalawa lang.
yeah, meron parang
So,
meron ka lang dalawang parang
So,
rubber match lang na one-on-one.
unless you do that, it's gonna be hard.
Well, again, we'll go on a short commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be a very heavy topic. The question is AU